Lasciò jazz e delodel. O Nevimos Norvego sasani Polska Auschwitz. De jante di kenka markering pa Holocaust jazz ke sas de ftava de sztapanż berszpalpale.
Drzeszynski Meta, 1922. Duchan Franz, 1935. Ducha Vladimir, 1935.
Samas kade bachtale te reklame gromani sintoika kana klas marimo Voibushol Rita Prigmore.
Born Winterstein Reinhardt, because Prigmore was when I was still married, my son and daughter in America. And I'm a stedet, a gypsy from Würzburg. Was born in 1943. And of course our family went to the Nazi era. And my mama was a singer and dancer at the Teatro. My father is from the Gabriel Reinhardts. I don't know if that's the music like Janko Reinhardt. And they used to be together on stage. And then of course 1936, 37, when all these Nazi areas started, people were separated. Most of them went to Auschwitz. And my mama, she had to sign a paper. She was about 19, 20. Because she was pretty at the theater, she had to sign a paper not to get married or have a friend or be eloped, and or she would be sterilized or sent to Auschwitz. But my mom and dad had eloped before, and then he had to go to Stuttgart to his family. My mama stayed in Würzburg. And then she was supposed to be sterilized. She had to go to university, and they found out she was pregnant with twins. So the whole family was arrested. And of course she went against what she signed, punishment. But then they found out she's going to have twins. And that was the big thing for Heide and Mengele. Yeah, died, the eyes. So the family was arrested for hours and hours, and then they had to go send a report that she went against what she signed and that she's expecting twins. So then they got the permit that she can carry them out if she gives us up for experimental purposes. And Dr. Heidi, he was a specialist in Würzburg in racial issue, and he was a good friend of Mengele, of course. So the report also went to Auschwitz. And then Rolanda and I were born. And in the clinic, Mama always was watched from the Nazis. She always had to go back. And then we were born in the clinic there, and they took us right away. And Mama just saw us very shortly, and then we had to stay in the hospital. And then Rolanda and I had surgery done on our eyes. You can see the scar here. And we went in to change our eyes, and now I got implants at that time. And Rolanda didn't survive, so she died. And my mama went up there to see us. Was forbidden, of course, but she always snuck in. And with my grandparents, whoever was left, most of the family was in Auschwitz already. It was just very few, about 4 or 5 people left. And then Mama, of course, went in the little window and she looked and she says, "Where's my other child?" And she was screaming, getting all excited. And then a nurse came and she said, the other twin died of the experience. I had a headband. Then they took my Mama down the hall. It says Bart. Opened the door, and there was Rolanda in a bathtub laying with a big bandage. She had died hours before. So my Mama panicked and ran out and stole me out of the clinic. And we still don't know how she made it from the university down to the city to go to church. She knocked, and the priest came out, and she explained. And she says, "Please baptize here in the name of Santa Rita." She's my. So anyways, but by the time she was back home, the Nazi was there and took me back. Didn't see me for over a year. But Mama was sterilized. Grandfather was sterilized. Most of the family, the youngest brother with 14 was sent to Auschwitz. The 2 grandmas still couldn't do nothing. They were too old. And so not 1 year after that, Mama got me back. All my life I had problems with my health and with my eyes. And so,
how is it for you to attend this Memorial Day at Auschwitz?
It's going to be my 4th time. I'm with the community of Santa Gidio 4 years ago. I was here first time after I came back from the States. They needed a survivor in our city. And since I'm a survivor for our family, it was hard. The second time was hard too. Because the memories, my mama's 2 cousins that were sent to Auschwitz, I just told them the one, she was very beautiful. And when they put them in line, they wanted the pretty ones to go to the bordello. And out of shame, because all the Sinti families were named, that's our code, you will shame in front of men and their family. She fought herself away from the Gestapo and she ran in the fence and killed herself before she had a German touch her. We heard it from some of the other survivors. My mama's younger brother with 14 was in there too. So afterward there was a lot of stories to be told by the fire. Those gypsies, we kids of course grow up and hear that. And every time I go to Auschwitz, it's not different. It's more a help for me to understand. But then I don't understand. Because I'm 74 years old now. My family's in America, my daughter, my 4 grandsons, my son, and I go there back and forth, and it's hard. They say, why do you always go back there? And I said, it is needed. Because that awful, hurtful group, that the country of Germany, let's be active again against us. It's a shame. It is a shame. Why? Haven't they learned anything from Auschwitz? Why is there Auschwitz? Why can't the Nazis go out there now and participate again against us? It's not like we say gypsies and Roma, we steal, we do this and this. No, it's a racial war. You get it more and more, it's racial. Because it wasn't gypsy and Roma, there were Jews, there were all others too. And I don't understand the government to prohibit that there are not going to be Nazi parties, like in the States too. They have. But once you let a party exist, the other one gets an idea of what they accomplished, and then they do it, and they do it. And this is the fear of us gypsies right now in Roma, that it can happen again, and it will. I always, with the community of Santa Gidio, and I speak at churches and in America, and I say, Auschwitz is sleeping. It is sleeping. And like I say, I don't have a lot of education in school. And I had to put in my email, what's your education? And I said, my life as a Sinti Holocaust survivor. Then you don't have to say more. And it's just very hurtful that the government lets that exist again, those people who done so much harm. I became an American citizen years ago because of my son and daughter, and when I was married, and I say every country has a pride. It's your country, America, Spain, Italy, but Germany doesn't have a pride for what happened, the Holocaust, millions of innocent people, and now those people can go out there again and threaten us. Motorcycles, things, and there, and I don't understand it. Where's the pride? They should feel bad that it's happening again if they can't stop it. Because you can't stop. You can stop hate, maybe, but stupidity in the head, you can't control. And that's my kind of opinion. It's just like kids, they don't like certain foods, or we don't like, and it stays with you. And I think it's the same thing when they say Sinti and Roma and them, they have to eliminate them. It's kind of it's a sickness, I believe. And it turns into hate. So for me, I'm very happy that Mr. Romani invited me again, because I'm down in Heidelberg too. And it is for us important, as the survivor, it's getting less and less to be together at this special day. To say our feelings, to say our fear, to show up, of course we're afraid of what's going on. Because what is about 10 or 20 gypsies with a camp, and here comes 30 motorcycles and kills us? What could they say? What would be the excuse from the government or the police? Because they're gypsy, or they were not supposed to camp there, or it was nighttime. See, things like this go through our mind, and it's fearful. It is very, very fearful. And so for this memorial, it's very, very special that we speak out against the hatred and everything that grows, and also our fear. We shouldn't really show our fear, because then they say, oh, they're afraid of us, but maybe they pick up what was done to them, and it is fearful. Because not only Cindy and Roma was Jewish and other ones too, but we don't have a lobby. And from the bottom of our heart, all of us are happy to have Mr. Romani Rose that made it Zentralrat and help us that way. So it's good to be here together. Could go on with the story.
Thank you very much for sharing this with us.
Anytime.
Anytime. Very fine.
But I think the more stories we can tell, but so many over 4 or 5 years, the elders died, so it's important to always bring it up, and special and by such a memorial. So I love you.
Thank you.
Lascio gesta ben bachtale, a me cavas catar Romano, Kher da Norvego. A gestam cateon do Auschwitz, te malagilam romenza, te dicasso kerem von cate. Ta vez bachtalo prala. Catara vez tu.
Tam skelačes, se spričavenge, te jaké familia.
Tai vitu che sagade. Catara ven tu me.
Amen alam Slovakia, Banská Bystrica, alam sare autobuseha, sar grupa.
Io, grupa fa?
Alam dedikel sar pare Givinahi o Roma ando Auschwitz.
Ando Auschwitz la duito marimo.
Hey.
Ok. Sai pensa minge so dikletu ma jes kate?
No, vaš mande šaj penav kahiman baro paripen. Baro paripen nađanav sar oda dika so obla budberša pregele kaj mandinjom kaj musaj oda tedika.
Tedikelo ja.
Naštih domukas kaj amare čave te dođiven oda so dođile amare dada.
Ta bez bachtali.
Tetu.
Gilabelas la creaschinia con do London, on do Franzuson, do Monaco, on do Kher gilabelas. Voi si baro musicanto, musicaler.
No. A connection. Auschwitz Kher baro odi bešel mropirano. Isariov bešel au Cardovel stiar io manciores na bringiare utucalo ciricloro li chiamanche mroiloro e ligia mradomniakie siaj teto pandlo Auschwitzate.
Ta vez bachtalo prala. Na istuki kaj dana me čocajto, na istuki kaj gilabin dana menge.
Ta vira klame graeska bušol Jesse Jackson, vosi kamarel panalkale, manuš. Vosas le manušesa ke bušol Martin Luther King. O Jesse Jackson sas duvar candidato te šajavel presidento.
It's a pleasure, sir, to talk with you today.
Well, it's good to be here on this sacred time. 75 years ago, the Roma Sinti faced massacre, they faced Holocaust. Some says forgotten Holocaust, many was not known. And we must take the Roma Holocaust out of the darkness and illuminate what happened to Roma people. And still happening to Roma people around the world even today.
Can you tell us a little about why you are here today? And what that means for you?
The second in August 2nd in Auschwitz will be 75th anniversary of the massacre, the Holocaust of Roma people. And we want the world to know about it. We want to illuminate darkness. We want the world to know about it. The Roma Sinti still attacking Europe right now. It's anti-Semitism, anti-Romaism called gypsies. And so they're being treated as a marginalized people, and it's not fair. I think human rights for all human beings, we should measure human rights by one yardstick. I'm here today because I care.
Yeah, thank you. Can you tell us a little about the situation for the Roma? Are they the same like for the American people in United States?
Well, African Americans for 246 years were in legal slavery. 346, as a matter of fact. We built America on our backs. The strongest industry in the world was cotton. Drove the industry of America and India and Britain and France. 346 years worked without wages. Illegal for us to get an education, illegal for us to marry. And it took the impact of a war to make slavery illegal, but it was followed up by something called Jim Crow. 5,000 blacks were lynched in 50 years. Mass murder of blacks. And for too long it was not enough because there was no conviction. So it's something I hear the Roma story, the African American story, has a lot of similarities. And yet we fought back. We didn't give up. And you fight me, you will not give up. And that's what we must do. We must not give up.
Voi inchiedasse sciucar tale, andacodola Rom che mudardele anno Auschwitz. Vot a star avera Rom onorindele manuschen che amude.